Hello everybody, what is up and welcome back to my channel. I am a little delayed on this, so I am sorry, and the setup might be throwing you off because I'm not at my desk, but I have my computer right here. So you know what today is. Doing my budget video. I have gotten so many comments from people saying that they love these videos, that they love watching these, and also whenever I meet you in person, usually like 9 out of 10 times it's, oh my god, I love your budget videos. And so I'm gonna keep making them because not only do they hold me accountable, but you guys seem to really enjoy them for whatever reason, whether it is to just like if you're curious about spending and like what people spend, if you want some motivation to budget, if you like these just for whatever reason. I don't really care what the reason is. I want to be a source of value to you, and these videos are not financial advice. I cannot make that more clear. Like, this isn't an advice video. This isn't a perfect budget video. It is just a real and honest conversation with you as I go through my personal finances myself. And the way I like to view my channel is, you know, we're all kind of growing up together, young adults, like we're all kind of like figuring out being an adult together. I feel like I should have it down considering I am 26 years old, but you know, I like to post these videos just to kind of show you what stage of life I'm in. And yeah, the stage of life I'm in right now is a stage where I am budgeting. So here we go. I did want to thank Truebill for sponsoring this video, but I will talk about them in a quick second. If you guys are new here, pretty much what I do is I go through my previous month and I go through all of my expenses and I just share with you the findings. So I don't share every single expense. I don't share every transaction, but I pretty much share, you know, how much I spent in a lot of categories, and then I see like what I want to improve on in the next month. And so this month I am a little late. It's currently May 23 when I am recording this video, and I'm doing my April budget. So I might upload 2 budget videos this month so I can get back on track, because I really want to do one in May at the end of this month because I just went to New York this month, and so I have like a lot of expenses from there, and I would love to compare kind of like my spending habits in New York, even if it's on vacation, compared to like what I spend in Miami. And then this month, April, which what I'm going to show you, it was my birthday month, and let me just tell you what I did for my birthday. Pretty much what I did was, so my birthday, I actually had a very relaxing birthday. It was great. But then the weekend after, I had friends come. We went on a boat, we went to bars, we went to restaurants. And then the next weekend I had another friend that came, and then another birthday party was happening in Miami. So I like did all the birthday activities with them. And so it was more boat, drinks, restaurants. Like it was another really expensive weekend. And then I believe the following weekend I went home. So I didn't do that much. But those 2 weekends and those like pretty much 2 whole weeks, 2.5 weeks of having friends over definitely, I think, cost me a lot of money. So I think my restaurant bill is extremely high this month, which you guys know, it's like a broken record. Like my restaurant bill is always high. I couldn't accurately say how much money I spent on alcohol because a lot of it, you know, when you're with your friends, it's like, okay, I'll buy a round, you buy a round, we're all Venmoing each other at the end. So I just lumped all my Venmo transactions into one transaction because I didn't want to categorize all of them. So I just kind of labeled it as entertainment. So some of that might include alcohol, but yeah, I definitely think I spent a lot of money on like food and alcohol this trip. We're gonna see how that goes. But would love to know your guesses. But my goal is still to have spent less money than the previous month, which I think I did because I didn't really go shopping. The first part of April, I was on a work trip. So all of those like Ubers and transactions there were covered. So I didn't spend that much money in the beginning, you know, so I do think that I spent overall less money this month, but I'm not sure how much, and I think certain categories are way higher than others. Like I think parking is a lot higher because I was like driving my friends around everywhere. I think my Tesla supercharger miles transactions is a lot higher. Yeah, so we're gonna see how much all of this is. But before we get into my budget, I did want to thank Truebill for sponsoring today's video, and I'm so excited for this sponsor because you guys know I love Truebill. I talk about them a lot. It is probably the only budgeting app that I am actually obsessed with and like regularly check. Like I love Truebill. You guys know that the reason why I love sharing my budget is because, like I said, it holds me accountable, but also I am very cognizant of the fact that I work for myself. I'm a business owner. My income is not the same. I need to make sure that I am budgeting, and I need to make sure that I am not spending an unnecessary amount of money. I want to make sure that I'm not like paying for things that I don't need or I'm not using anymore, and Truebill helps with all of that, and it's just like a lifesaver and a time saver since I just have it on my phone. Truebill is an all-in-one finance platform that helps you to save more and spend less. It's essentially your personal finance manager that helps you manage your subscriptions, lower your bills, monitor your credit score. Like, it does everything on Truebill. Helps you with savings. Like, it's incredible. I personally love it because it sends me these notifications every time I'm like spending more or spending less money than like previous months. So it's like, oh, you spent this much money this week. Good job. Like, less than the previous one. And so I just like it because it's constantly giving me reminders and allowing me to think about my spending, but then I can check it and I can like monitor my credit score, which is so important since you guys know, I want to buy a house soon, so I'm kind of in the process of looking for a house, and so making sure that my credit is on, making sure I get notifications whenever my credit is updated is really, really important to me. And then also it cancels my unwanted subscriptions, which I think is amazing. So literally with a click of a button, you can cancel your unwanted subscriptions. I think that is like genius and unheard of in a budgeting app. And it's something that you need because I always mention whenever I manually budget, I notice so many subscriptions that I have that are so unnecessary. Literally this month, I canceled like 3 subscriptions because I realized that I was paying for things that I literally do not need anymore. And until you start budgeting, I don't think you realize how many subscriptions you actually have. I recommend Truebill to every single one of my friends. I think it is the best personal finance app, and it is the only one that I am truly obsessed with because I do like to manually budget. But what I love about Truebill is all of these features that it has that my manual budget cannot do. And of course, it just helps you in the like month to month. Like, I only budget once a month. If I really want to see how my spending is in the middle of the month, I open up Truebill and it gives me an analysis on my spending and of my spending habits and what I've been spending my money on, which I think is amazing. So if you guys want to try out Truebill, you can go to truebill.com/Natalie Barbu and make sure that you check it out. I am telling you, I've gotten my friends on it. I've gotten my co-founder on it. Like, I am obsessed with this app and I want to get you guys on it too. I talk about it all the time. So if you guys want to check it out, go to truebill.com/Natalie Barbu. Thank you so much, Truebill, for sponsoring today's video. So usually when I film these, I will talk to you guys, kind of give my predictions like I just did, and then I'll go and I'll like budget. I already budgeted, but I didn't actually look at like the categories. So I'm still, the predictions are still pretty accurate. So we're going to go through my budget and we are going to see what I've been spending my money on, and I would love to know what you've been spending your money on because I think that's really interesting and I'd love to know how it compares to mine as well. So let's just dive into it. In terms of my overall income, I made almost the same exact amount of money as last month, which usually doesn't happen. So I actually made $200 less this month than last month, but like, it's $200. Like, I made almost the exact same amount, which I think is crazy. I'm very happy with that. It is a good amount that I am very secure with. So very happy that I have not been like drastically dropping or anything like that. So yeah, in terms of overall money making, good, pretty steady and pretty consistent. My housing costs are always the same each month. I pay like $60 for Wi-Fi and cable. I have to pay for all of my monthly fees here in the building, electricity, all of that. So all of that is the same like every single month. And now in terms of food. Okay, I'm not mad about the food. I will say, I think because of some of like the Venmo stuff, some numbers are a little off, but I did overall spend less money this month on food than last month. I still spent not a good amount of money, but I did spend less. So in terms of groceries, last month I spent $48 on groceries, which is literally nothing. This month I spent $270 on groceries. So definitely a tiny bit more. That's like an average amount. But then I spent a lot of money on restaurants and also on coffee. So on restaurants, I spent $720 this month. But you guys remember last month I spent like $1,100 on restaurants, which is just like stupid. And I hope that's like a record in my lifetime of how much I spend on restaurants. I hope last month takes the cake, because if I ever spend more than that, someone needs to come and like smack me. So this month I spent $720, which is still a lot. I'm trying to get it down. But like I said, I had multiple birthday events, multiple birthday parties, friends over, so we weren't cooking. Like, it was just a lot. And when your friends are over, you want to show them like a good time, so you're like showing them cool restaurants. Yeah, and I had 2 weeks of that. So $720 there. In terms of coffee, I've been spending so much more money on coffee out. I don't know, I think it's like a treat for me, like because I work from home. I'm like, let me just like go out and like get a coffee. So I spent $100 on coffee this month, but last month I spent $206 on coffee. So I am overall spending less. Alcohol this month, as of here, I spent $133 on alcohol. Might have been more because of like the Venmo transactions, but also I bought people rounds and they bought people rounds. So I would say it's pretty accurate of spending around $133 this month on alcohol, which I don't usually like to spend that much. Last month I spent $120, which again is really high. I would ideally like to keep that below $100, but really it's because like when you go out for drinks, every drink is like minimum $15. So if we do the math on like an average drink being $15, I pretty much bought around like 8 drinks, and that's like not including tips. So honestly, it's like not that crazy expensive, but I would ideally like to not spend over $100 on alcohol a month. How much money do you guys spend on alcohol every month? I'd like to know that, like to know the breakdown. All right, now let's go to personal care. So for personal care, I did not get my eyebrows done this month, so nothing there. It's actually already like May 23rd, and the last time I got my eyebrows done was in March, and I feel like they don't look bad, so it's pretty good. I've been keeping them. I mean, I definitely should get them done soon, but like I don't have anything in them right now, like no gel, no filler, and I feel like they kind of look pretty good. I do spend $95 every single month on my facial, so I have a membership. I haven't gone this month, but I know that they like carry over and you can like gift them to people too. So $95 every month on a facial. I spent $48 including tip on my manicure. These last me literally forever. Like these last so long that I feel like it's a pretty like average monthly expense. Sometimes I can go 6 weeks, so it's not every single month that I'm purchasing it, but you guys get the gist. In terms of my workout, I do spend a lot of money on my workouts. I spend about $190 a month on my gym membership, which is very useful for me because I do go to my gym at least like 3 times a week. I spend $10 a month on like Melissa Wood Health, which is a Pilates class. I spent $40 a month on my Peloton subscription. And then I've been spending money on a ClassPass and I need to cancel it. But whenever I go to ClassPass's site, it tells me that there's an error. Yeah, I'm spending $50 a month on ClassPass. But yeah, I need to cancel my ClassPass membership. I keep it because like I use it every once in a while, but 100% not enough to justify $50 a month. Like that is honestly crazy. So I definitely need to lower that, especially because my Peloton membership is pretty expensive and I feel like I cannot pay for Peloton and ClassPass and a gym, and it's just way too much. Like I'm spending way too much money on that. But it is something I prioritize, but still way too much. So in terms of health insurance, I spend about $275 every single month on health insurance, which I am 26 now, which is the age where a lot of people get cut off from their parents' health insurance. But I have not been on my parents' health insurance since I was 21. So like in college, I was like paying for my own health insurance too. So I've been paying for it for a long time. I feel like that's like the one thing of like getting older that like is such an expense that people do not realize is so expensive. But like any type of insurance is so freaking expensive. So health insurance is one thing that I have been spending a lot of money on, and especially being self-employed, I don't have an employer that gives me my benefits of health insurance, so I have to find that all on my own. So yeah, that's one thing that is still expensive. And still when you like go, like sometimes when you go to doctors and stuff, you still have to pay. So it's just a lot of money growing up, guys. It's a lot of money. Let's talk about transportation, because that is one expense I think in Miami that is so expensive compared to other cities. So parking. I spend so much money a month on parking, and I'm not talking about parking at my building. That is included. I am talking about going to places and spending money on parking. I spent $130 just driving around and parking in Miami. I know LA is like really expensive for that too, but I feel like this is just crazy. So expensive. So I spent $130 on parking compared to last month where I spent $92, which I thought was expensive already. It's just everywhere you go. It's like $3 here, $6 here, $8 here, like $12 here. And I just drive a lot of places, and especially when I had my friends over, I drove a lot and I don't make my friends like pay for parking. So $130, like that is just crazy. In terms of supercharger miles, like I said, I drove a crazy amount this month, so I did spend $126 on supercharger miles, which I think is a lot of money. I still think it's cheaper than gas considering how many miles I drive every month, but I still think that it is a lot of money, $126. But now that gas is so expensive, I don't know. Like I know some of my friends are spending like $100 every time they fill up, and I feel like if I were to like fill up my car and I was driving like a normal like gas car, I probably would fill up like 3 times a month. So I do think that I'm still like saving money on gas, but it still is like really, really, really expensive. I don't take public transportation, so nothing there. In terms of car insurance, yeah, I spend so much money on car insurance. I spend $394 every month on car insurance. $394 every month. Absolutely insane. Insane, insane, insane. Florida is so freaking expensive, and Miami in particular, like not just Florida. Miami is like one of the most expensive cities in the country for car insurance. I'm pretty sure it's like number 3 or something like that. Let me look it up. Most expensive cities for car insurance. Miami has to be up there. Let's see. Okay, so number 1 is Detroit, Michigan, number 1. Number 2 is New York City. 3 is New Orleans. 4 is Hialeah, which Hialeah is like in Miami. So I'm kind of confused. And then also I am so confused with the image they chose for Hialeah. This is not Hialeah. This looks like California. There's like hills in the background. Like, I'm so confused with this photo. And then number 5 is Miami, Florida. So the average premium is $2,400, which makes sense, which is like what I'm paying. But the average observed premium range is anywhere from $1,100 to $4,300. And the cheapest provider is Geico, which is what I have. I have Geico. I'm like using Geico car insurance. It's so expensive. 82% more than the national average. 82%. Enough of that. And then for Uber and Lyft, I spent almost the same exact amount that I spent last month, which was $162. So overall, I'm spending around the same that I spent last month. So I am spending a lot of money on having a car, which if you live in a city that doesn't need cars, that is definitely an expense that you need to consider when you move to a place like Miami, which is a big city, which is very spread out, and you need a car. I feel like it's probably very similar to LA, except the car insurance apparently is more expensive. So who knows, maybe it's more expensive here. And then in terms of random shopping, I didn't go shopping too much. So I really didn't spend like a crazy amount. I have been buying a lot of like gifts lately, like for people's birthdays, weddings, baby showers, everything like that. And so I have been spending, I feel like this year, every month I have like a gift expense. This month I only spent $60 on a gift, but like in May, I'm gonna have like almost $1,000 in gifts that I've spent, which is absolutely insane. And that's another thing of getting older. You're starting to buy gifts for people. So that's always something that you need to account for in your budget. And I think a lot of people don't. People just account for things that they're purchasing themselves, but you have to have a place for gifts in your budget. And then I've lumped all of my like entertainment charges in like all of the Venmos. So in terms of like all of my Venmo transactions and stuff like that, I've spent around $350. That's miscellaneous stuff. That could be alcohol, drinks, like Ubers, like so many different things. So $350 is my like entertainment expense. And then I just spend a lot on like professional services, like my accountant, my Zoom subscription, my like Calendly subscription. Like there's so many little subscriptions that add up. And then taxes were this year, so I had to pay my accountant more money for that. So I spent $2,000 on all of my like professional expenses. So I didn't break down as much the transactions because honestly, I didn't have any like big ticket items. Like everything was pretty within range, I would say. I just spent a lot more money on like food and alcohol because of all of the like events and excursions that I was doing. And like I went on like 2 boats this month. Like, you know, it's just like a lot of that. So overall, I did spend less money than last month. I spent 15% less money this month than last month. And last month I spent even less than the previous month. So I am spending less. I'm actually very happy with like how much I spent this month, even though I know those numbers sound kind of crazy. I would like it to be a little bit less, but I am overall like content, and I saved a lot of money this month, which I am very happy about as well. I saved almost like half of what I made this month, which I think is pretty good. So yeah, that was my monthly budget recap. These videos are always so long, but I'd love to know kind of your spending habits. I hope these videos have inspired you to save money and to also budget. And also I did want to thank Truebill for sponsoring today's video again. It's one of my favorite apps, so definitely check it out. Yeah, I will see you guys probably this month with a May budget video, and I'm very excited for that. That one is going to be telling, comparing like how much money I spent in New York. It was because I was gone. I was there for like 10 days. But yeah, I'd also love to do a video breakdown on like comparing living here versus there in terms of like how much money I spend every month, because I've been budgeting for years, so I can pull up those old budgets and kind of compare the costs. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what else you want to see from these videos, from my channel in general, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye guys.